Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narsimhan. Viewers, the focus is on this truce. Uneasy lies this truce. There is a huge trust deficit. Talks are just about to begin. Are both sides entering into negotiations over non-negotiables? Or should one trust President Donald Trump when he says much of the 15-point proposal has already been accepted? And what the IRGC has put as improbable list of 10 is actually just braggadocio, or a large part of it is for the people to consume a particular narrative. Now, he said he's agreed to a 2-week ceasefire with Iran less than 2 hours before his 8 p.m. deadline to destroy a whole civilization. Now, many believe that Trump has this to go a little bit beyond bluster sometimes on his posts, and he never intended to wipe out an entire civilization, but that's President Donald Trump. Now, Trump has also said that ceasefire agreement was made on the condition that Iran agrees to reopen this critical Strait of Hormuz. Now, this is what President Donald Trump said based on conversations with Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Field Marshal Asim Munir of Pakistan, and wherein they requested that I hold off the destructive force being sent tonight to Iran and subject to the Islamic Republic of Iran agreeing to the complete, immediate and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz. I agree to suspend the bombing and attack of Iran for a period of 2 weeks. Now, this will be a double-sided ceasefire. Trump posted on Truth Social, the reason for doing so is that we have already met and exceeded all military objectives and are very far along with a definitive agreement concerning long-term peace with Iran and peace in the Middle East. Trump further wrote, we've received a 10-point proposal from Iran and believe it is a workable basis on which to negotiate. Almost all of the various points of past contention have been agreed to between United States and Iran, but a 2-week period will allow the agreement to be finalized and consummated. On behalf of the United States of America, as President and also representing the countries of the Middle East, it is an honor to have this long-term problem close to resolution, he added. The White House called a lid at 6:44 p.m. Washington, D.C. time, meaning officials don't anticipate that press will see Trump for the remainder of the evening. So that's how it was. Then, a short while later, Iran's Foreign Minister, Araqchi, released a statement. Responding to President Trump's 2-week ceasefire announcement, he wrote, and I quote, considering the request by the U.S. for negotiations based on its 15-point proposal as well as announcement by POTUS about acceptance of the general framework of Iran's 10-point proposal as a basis for negotiations, I hereby declare on behalf of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, if attacks against Iran are halted, our powerful armed forces will cease their defensive operations. For a period of 2 weeks, safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz will be possible via coordination with Iran's armed forces and with due consideration of technical limitations. Now, here's decoding the terms set by both sides, on the basis of which they are going to supposedly sit across on the negotiation table along with other entities who have stake in this. And this could most likely happen on Friday in Islamabad. US has told Iran, dismantle nuclear sites, end uranium enrichment, export uranium stockpiles, allow full inspections, renounce nuclear pathway, suspend missile development, end proxy exports, stop Houthi weapons, reopen Hormuz fully, secure Gulf shipping. Iran, this is what Iran is now responding. So you see the kind of tall demands US is making. Iran is saying no future strikes, permanent end to war, stop strikes on Lebanon, lift all sanctions, allow enrichment of uranium, protect proxy allies. Axis of resistance should continue. Hormuz under Iran, $2 million transit fee, pay war damages, recognize regional interests, long-term strategic talks. Iran says we are ready to share this money, this Tehran toll or this tariff that would be charged on the Strait of Hormuz, which is a violation of all international norms and regulations. We are willing to share it with Oman. Oman has turned around and says, listen, this is against the UNCLOS and we are not wanting any money. Tehran so far has not said anything. Ambassador Rajiv Dogra with us, and also Lieutenant General D.P. Pandey with us. Gentlemen, thank you very, very much for making the time and joining us here. I'm just going to quickly search for marine traffic and see what is the current status. Even as we वो कहते हैं ना साँच को आज क्या, what's let's try and see, viewers, what is the current status of marine traffic in the Strait of Hormuz. So we are somewhere in Dublin. I've got this live, viewers, and I'm just going to turn it around. Mandana Karimi is also joining us this evening. Namaste, Mandana ji, good to have you with us. I'm just going to look at this region. And is there traffic in the Strait of Hormuz? Because till evening, viewers, we had only about 2 ships throughout the day that had passed or entered this entire Strait of Hormuz. They hadn't moved beyond that. There, we've got, I've got the Strait of Hormuz. This is Oman, the UAE, and we have this entire region, the Gulf of Oman, United Arab Emirates, that's Bandar Abbas, and we are zooming in on the Strait of Hormuz. There is hardly any traffic at all. We can't see any traffic in this Strait of Hormuz. So that's the current situation in this strait. There is hardly any activity that is happening. I'm just going to re-queue this in a bit and we'll come back to this. General Pandey, Mandana Karimi is also with us. We also have our guest joining us from Israel, Avishag Avinom, a geopolitical analyst and who's been close to the powers that be. He'll be joining us in a bit. Vail Awad is also with us, senior journalist. Namaste. Thank you. Mandana Karimi, many believed. Okay, we'll go to Mandana Karimi in a bit. Avishag Avinom is also with us. Many believe that President Trump is the one who's first blinked. Iran comes out feeling the victor in this. Do you agree, disagree?
Can you repeat it again? I can barely
hear you. Many
believe
that President Trump blinked first. It is Iran that comes out with flying colors and all the glory. They are the victors. Agree, disagree?
Well, temporarily, they do have the upper hand right now, but I believe it comes after the threats of President Trump, basically to attack infrastructures like the power plants and other energy facilities. So they already in their lowest point since the beginning of the war. So since the beginning of the protests, not even the war. So they are willing to accept, I believe, any ceasefire that will be handed to them. And we have to remember that this specific regime, they are operating solely on irrational decisions. And after they've seen the damage that imposed upon them, upon their leadership, what's left of it, okay, and the infrastructures that has been dismantled, the military infrastructures and also civilians ones, and governmental ones. So now they will accept everything that will be proposed to them like they did right now. And it's only a tactical step. This is not something I believe so that will last. It's only for 2 weeks. And after a very heavy pressure coming from also Pakistan and other actors that are involved. And obviously, their understanding that after a massive strikes from America and Israel combined on energy facilities, they will be left in a very, very short grip of their own population.
You believe this ceasefire is not going to hold? Many believe it will be Israel that will first breach it.
Well, we don't know, it really depends how they will sustain that ceasefire and how they will handle it in front of the Americans. Obviously, Israel and America want to have Iran free from nuclear enrichment, obviously. But it really depends how they will react, which is kind of unpredictable because they are irrational leadership, people, a regime. And so it's really hard to point on a specific, step that they will take, but it can be either they will decide it's all or nothing, and they will sacrifice themselves along with their, entire nation's energy and other infrastructures, and then eventually they will end up as, persecuted regime by their own people. Right. It will take time, or they will choose the smart route, which is basically to go along with the ceasefire deals, with Trump's points, and basically accept their defeat, even if it's not on the ground defeat, but at least, you know, militarily defeat and regional defeat.
Okay, a strategic defeat, you're saying. Now, we've just
Yeah.
got Mandana Karimi is also with us, gentlemen, and to the ladies. Just quickly walking up to show our viewers, compared to what's happened, and this is live, so that's why this just refreshed itself. Compared to what happened earlier in the day, you see this queue here approaching the Strait of Hormuz, and there is also now movement around the Iranian waters, the exit route, and this is the ingress route. So the exit route, there are a few ships that are showing certain amount of movement. Through the day, only 2 or 3 ships had moved, but now it looks like some of these ships are queuing up to start making their entry. Now, I was just reading former tennis player Dmitry Medvedev. He was saying Iran has developed a nuclear weapon, and it's indestructible, and it's called the Strait of Hormuz. That's what he said. General Pandey.
Yeah, so I think the
Who's got the upper hand now? Your thoughts? Because this has been an argument. Many say both sides wanted an off-ramp. Some say Trump is the one who's blinked. The others say after 40 days of pounding, the Iranians may be putting up a brave face, but they've got literally nothing left. Your thoughts, sir?
Look, when there are two countries who play from two different set of rules and the power projection, their gameplays are different. But one thing is very common, and that is narrative warfare.
Yeah.
So the both countries are past masters in narrative warfare. The only thing is that the Iranians don't have the world stage to talk about it because they have foreclosed their own internet and they are not as articulate to be able to send the narrative. But what they do send narrative is through the nuclear weapon which they have not developed, but they have harnessed, created in terms of Hormuz. So there are two things which are very important where they have done. One is they have controlled the Hormuz, and it was known very well. This is going to be the leverage which Iran will not let go till the time they get there what they want. The second was to carry out strikes onto the Gulf nations, right? That is the second very important leverage, to tell that whatever protection you had for a number of decades by the Americans, you aren't going to survive when we come looking for you, right? So they have developed a plan which is in place, not today, not 1 year back, you know, they have developed it over 4.5, 5 decades. Their thought about debt to America, debt to Israel has been conceptualized, worked on a survival point of view. The last thing, which is very important to understand, that they know they cannot defeat the number one conventional force in the world. When that joins hand with the number 10th or 11th conventional force, that is Israel. So, okay, Israel has got remnant of power because it's been working for so long. America has put in a part of its power into this thing, but it's significant power when you compare with our already sanctioned, degraded, isolated Iran for last about a decade. So they know their game cannot be conventional matching to conventional. They will go on to sub-conventional. So everybody, when they're looking at destruction in Iran, every bit of destruction plays into the hand of Iranians to play in a narrative warfare, to tell the Muslim world which will go against them. Every destruction which they do into the Gulf, they destroy oil field, infrastructure of energy, is telling the world not to be liking Trump. So while we may be in favor of not having a nuclear Iran, or a Iran which has been using proxy warriors to actually carry out terrorist strikes in Israel and America and other places, we may not, and the region may not, want ballistic missiles. But you look at the pain point of the world, that they are looking at how it is hurting them in the terms of energy sector. Unfortunately, America knew that they are going to go after Iran. When they have gone after it, they have only prepared for about a month, month and a half. They knew in June last year that they will have to get after them. But I guess Trump was not wanting to go. This is a compellence of sort that he's walked into this war with certain geopolitical aim. And now to walk out the way they are going, the inflection point to go for ceasefire came when they landed in Isfahan. That failed, right? That turned into an rescue operation. That briefing when they gave, eulogizing Trump, themselves, talking very high, both actions were very brave. Going after the
Right.
nuclear power plant is risking.
Yeah, but Jal Sahab, there are many experts who believe, and you've got more operational experience far. So I'm just going to say that they say 200 troops are not enough to cart away 500 kilograms of nuclear, highly enriched uranium. One. Two, Trump has confirmed today that enriched nuclear uranium or nuclear dust is buried deep within, and they want to extract it, and they are going to extract it. So clearly now one can see that if there are two C-130s, they cannot take more than 75 people. You need at least 50 to 60 people to guard the aircraft. So it was more for the rescue mission and not necessarily what the Iranians are trying to, or the IRGC is trying to peddle as they wanted to steal away the uranium. See, Trump has put out today on his thing that there is satellite surveillance. From the time we bombed it, we've been watching it and it's not been moved. So that's something which he's let out today. But if a sanctioned IRGC-led regime has been able to amass so many ballistic missile weapons and has developed such technology by selling only to a few countries their oil, what could this nation have done if it had a free purse? There are 8 to 10 million Iranians or Persians who are living outside of Iran who today are looking at and perhaps are they thinking that this regime is at its weakest ever, and if the people are given a chance, it may be overthrown. Is that possible, Mandana Karimi? Where are you? Do you believe this whole aspect that the regime continuance has happened? It's Trump's failure, Israel's failure, that there is no regime change, and that Iran continues to be under this regime strong as always, despite 40 days of pounding?
First of all, thank you so much for having me on your panel. See, what we are seeing to being presented as a ceasefire, it should not be confused with peace. Because my people and my country, we haven't been in peace with this regime for 47 years. That's the first thing. And we are talking about, as an Iranian, what we are thinking right now, this is more of a strategy pause that being framed as a victory. And we all know about how this regime is. The moment there is a PR activities, there is a selling propaganda, there is hiring actors and other activists, bringing them to Iran and selling this narrative, right? You cannot trust a government where they sell the reality into a narrative. The reality right now in Iran is the fact that Iranians are still under internet blackout. The Houthis and Mujahideen and Iraqis and every other proxy of Iranian regime who's in Iran right now, they're creating fear on stop points, they're arresting people, the executions has gone to double to 4 times more and 5 times more while the country is in war. And the narrative that, we are seeing a regime that is trying to control a perception. That instead of resolving a crisis, and not only the country's crisis, now they have brought that crisis into Middle East. And when you look at it, Qatar and UAE and other neighbor countries, they were actually supporting Iran, and in a way they were stopping Mr. Trump for getting into this war. And then the next thing you know, Iranian regime is attacking all these countries as well, right? So getting back to the question that you asked, to be honest, as an Iranian, this is the weakest point of this regime that we have seen. And I tell you where this regime, how we see it and how we think that they are weak. The fact that past few days on their own state TV, they're calling out for kids, for family, women and men to come to the street and supporting the regime. That's the first thing. Second thing, I'm sure you guys have seen it in news. There are a lot of Iranians have been deported from multiple countries, okay? Those people who've been deported are directly either family member of the IRGC or they've been doing some sort of a terrorist activities in countries. So where are they gone back? They gone back to Iran. And some of them, where they were enjoying the luxurious life in these countries, now they've gone back to Iran on the street. They're getting paid by the government to say, oh, we are supporting the regime. Right. And the videos which are coming from these gatherings on the street, if you closely look, almost 80% of the people that you see are not Iranians. And another fact is, the reality is, Iranians who they don't even have access to a domestic internet, they get messages on their phone that you have to come for the gatherings, otherwise you're going to get arrested. If you come, we give you money, there is a price. And getting back to the saving the pilot, right? There was the TV state actually announced that whoever going to find a pilot, we're going to give you some, good amount of money, and, we're going to give you a lot of things. And what happened? Iranians were stopping the cars of the IRCG to not find a pilot. That says it doesn't matter what's going to happen, the US or Israel, whoever is going to stop so-called war or come into kind of some sort of an agreement with this regime, the Iranian people, they don't want this regime. And there is an ocean of blood between this regime and the people. And again, going back to January, if a regime does a massacre of 40,000+ people in a day, if a regime attacks the hospitals and schools, that so-called right now, they're selling it in their propaganda, they're saying that America and Israel are attacking schools. The same school that they're talking about 6 years ago, the Minab school that has been attacked, 6 years ago, it was actually the roof of one of the class was fall on the children. So that time those children weren't important, and now they're important because you're trying to sell a propaganda to the world. The nurses who got raped in the same hospitals in January, when they give treatment to people who were getting treated in a hospital, they got raped. The people who were getting treated, they were on a gunpoint and they were killed. Why they were getting treatment on the hospital? And the same regime is selling a propaganda now, calling people like me that I'm a traitor to my country because I'm asking other countries to come and bomb my country. Believe me, sir, no nation, no human will ask another country and come and attack them. We went to the street with a bare hand. We gave our life. We gave our people, our young people, our students, everybody. They went to the street, but what happened? They were massacred. And now what they're saying, they have shut down millions of Iranians in Iran, and they're saying that everyone wants the regime. And by the way, all the videos that we're getting, all the videos, not because I'm a supporter of Reza Shah Pahlavi, every video that we're getting, there is a flag, there is a Shiro Khorshid flag with Reza Shah Pahlavi's name and saying thank you to Mr. Trump. And that's the reality that they're trying to stop it again to come out.
Right.
And it saddened me. It saddened me that people are talking about ceasefire while the life of Iranians are still in danger. Thank you. Yes.
Right. Now,
yes,
you've passionately put out a point of view which a lot of people have not heard, and a lot of it is not even available for mass media. It is not there, but it exists.
Unfortunately.
No, yeah, it exists. But what we are seeing right now is that this truce hangs by a thread. We have Ambassador Rajiv Dogra has been very patiently listening, so is Awad and the others. Right now, this is developing as we speak, and we'll try and put this out. There is an alarm that's now rung. The alarm rung is that passage through the Strait of Hormuz, Fars is now saying, is blocked till the time. Iran's Fars News is saying passage of oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz halted after Israel's attack on Lebanon. Now, this is what, and there is again conversations which are happening. Trump has just spoken, and New York Post is saying that J.D. Vance may not travel to Pakistan. The negotiations may happen in Pakistan. Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff will go, but J.D. Vance may not go because of security concerns. But at this point, there are also concerns that have been raised where the Israelis are saying Lebanon is not part of this deal. We are not attacking Iran, but we'll continue to attack the proxies, that is Hezbollah. And UAE is saying they are still sending drones at us. They are still sending drones at Kuwait. So this is not even lasting 24 hours, Ambassador Rajiv Dogra, this truce. Or will it hold? Because Shehbaz Sharif has just put out a fervent appeal. Can everybody please hold back? Can everybody please hold back? Desperate to get some attention there. But yes.
Anand, my heart says that I hope it holds.
Okay.
But my mind says there's a great question mark over it.
Right.
And I'll tell you why. Within a few hours, Trump went to give a statement which was very hostile, which was very provocative, and virtually telling Iran like a schoolmaster that if you don't do this, if you enrich uranium, firstly you're not going to be have any uranium, but if you try to enrich uranium even by a little bit, you will be punished.
Right.
And if anyone supplies arms to you, that country will be tariffed, meaning
Right.
thereby Russia, China, and North Korea. Now, these are not the kind of things where you try to cool temperatures. And as if Trump was not enough, Hexet, his Secretary for War,
Yeah.
he became even more provocative in his statements and virtually challenging Iran to step out of the line. But what surprised me even more was a statement by Mr. Shehbaz Sharif.
Right.
He's thanked everyone, starting from UAE, Saudi
Yeah.
Arabia, Turkey, Egypt, and of course Mr. Trump, but he's left out Iran. As a host, you should be equidistant in your sort of neutrality.
Yeah.
Here he's saying that Iran had no role to play, and virtually saying that Iran will have to toe the line that China tells it. China may have been very instrumental in getting this peace deal through,
Yeah.
the temporary peace deal through, but still to ignore Iran, which is the principal player, is asking for trouble. So I don't think it is going to hold, and I don't think narratives like the one we heard, I never contradict ladies,
Right.
but narratives are not a stable foundation for having friendly dialogue.
No, but friendly dialogue with who? See, because while Awad ji, thank you for your patience, and I'm coming to you last, but certainly not because you're the least. Your voice matters. Just we had lots of developments, and I'm coming to you. Just quickly putting out some of the non-negotiables, viewers. The clauses from both sides. US is saying nuclear weapons ban, opening of the Strait of Hormuz, limiting enrichment, and ending proxy support. Iran, on the other hand, is saying lift all sanctions, recognition of Hormuz control, continue uranium enrichment, and total withdrawal of US combat forces from across the Persian Gulf, across the Persian region, across any of these countries here. All these are non-negotiables, Wailabad. How is there going to be any truce, and especially when there are still missiles being fired and proxy wars are raging?
Well, thank you for having me. I think the last minute the truce has been reached is because of so much of pressure on the Iranian and by the Chinese, by the American, also public opinion, the international community. But again, we brought back into square one, where you stop the cessation of all hostilities, including the attack on Iran and Lebanon, and also you agreed on the opening of the Strait of Hormuz. And that is where we came to square one, that the 10-point Iran has put, the 15-point United States have put. Together they will discuss it. If the vice president travel, which is unlikely to be, Vance may not go, then it will be a direct discussion between Iran and United States to find out a solution and to find a truce for the war and ending it. So I don't believe that this war going to be an end as long as the Israelis now taking a full revenge by attacking social media on Trump, why he stopped this war. And secondly, on Lebanon, on the Druze, on the Sunni, on the Shia, on the Armenian, I can tell you more than 300 people have been killed. I've been following the news since morning, and we have seen an all-out attack on the Lebanese, where we have seen the total destruction. Because the end of the game, Anand, is to make sure that a communal or a civil war return to Iran, to Lebanon, and Israel can have the upper hand in Lebanon and Syria and in the region. And Iran understood the game plan of the United States. Maybe they dragged the president of the United States in. Today, we had, for the first time, we were able to communicate after 5 weeks now, with some of our Iranian contacts in the country. And some of them lost their lives, some of them have lost their homes, and they're still sleeping in the bathrooms. And we understand the suffering of the public. More than 12,000 targets have been attacked on Iran. And somebody come and tell me that 12,000 attacked by the American and Israelis using artificial intelligence killed nobody. If each attack had killed one, so we have more than 12,000 people died, including thousands of the injured. So I think we need to understand the other side of the story as well. It's not that by justifying that this war was legitimate, because if Iran had the bomb, they would have attacked everybody. Iran did not have the bomb. Iran does not have the bomb, nor it's the United States and Israel who are having the bomb, bombing another country on pretext that they are having a program of a nuclear bomb. I'm not justifying here. I'm just saying the people of Iran, the people of the region are paying the price hefty. And we are in the region where we noticed the total destruction of the
I just want to say the
infrastructure in
IRGC had signed that they will never have ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles. So what was fired at Diego Garcia? Catapults. The other part, Wailawad, what are they doing with 3,000 ballistic missiles? And with a claimed thing by the Ayatollah in August last year that they want to go up to ratchet it up to 8,000 ballistic missiles. For what?
Well,
Who are, no, so let's not paint the IRGC in glory. The fact,
Yes,
why
thank you.
are 8 to 10 million Persians living outside of Persia for the last 3 to 4 decades?
Sir, can
Israel-
I add something?
So
to what
those
you
are
said?
one part. The other thing is,
Sir,
Avishak, as far as Israel
I'm
is
so
concerned.
sorry to cut you. Can I say something about what
Yeah.
you said?
Yeah.
2 days ago, there is a gentleman, he's Indian, he's a mullah in Qom. And I had a debate, and for the first time, he actually heard me. And I actually questioned him and I challenged him. You know what he did? He left the chat because he could not read from his script that he had. Not only he left the chat, in exactly 3 hours, my old Iranian ID on Instagram and phone call and messages, they send me messages, watch your back, we have your number, we have your detail, we have your address, we're going to remove you, we're going to destroy you. That's the regime that we are talking about, sir. That's the regime that we
They're
are talking
targeting.
about.
They're
While
targeting their
I-
own civilians. Israel and the United States have not
sympathize
murdered
with the
approximately
Iranian-
30,000 of their own civilians. How
Now,
can
Thank
you
you
put
don't
them in the
justify killing
same?
of innocent people
Carol,
by the
how can you
United
put
States.
them in the same line? I cannot understand. But
Yeah,
you know,
if you, it's unfortunately that you don't. There's a question here. I sympathize with the Iranian. I understand the suffering of the Iranian people, but I can tell you, I have interviewed people from Iran whom I told them, "Whom do you like this regime?" They will tell me no. But he said, "What is if you wanted the crown, the Shah, son of the Shah of Iran?" He said, "If there is a choice, I'll stay with this regime."
Oh my God. Who do you talk to, sir? Because I tell you
The
one
Iranian?
thing. In January, the phone calls that I used to get, everyone was telling me, your friend has been killed, this one has died, that one has died. I was getting phone calls of knowing that my people are dead. But in March,
Madam,
since
part
the
of
war
our
has
families are
started,
sitting in Iran are dying. I can tell you.
since
I
the
have
war-
also relatives in Iran. I am not
dear.
supportive of the regime, by the way.
No, but you cannot glorify and you cannot compare it.
Not
Let
glorifying.
me tell you something.
If you are
Now the phone
Iranian, you
calls
don't
that I
allow
get-
anybody to
Can
attack your
we
people.
hear
That's
each
it.
other out, please? I think
Yes.
let's just
Sir.
calm down a bit and
Yes.
dial it down a bit.
Yeah.
We've just got another update. The White
Sure.
House
And sir-
press secretary Caroline Leavitt, Barack Ravid has put this out, saying that Lebanon is not part of the ceasefire agreement with Iran. And if you were to go across and read the statement that Foreign Minister Arakchi put, he said ceasing of all bombing or aggressive activities against Iran. Lebanon has not been mentioned there. Neither have the Iranian proxies, Hezbollah, Hamas, or the Houthis been mentioned in the letter there by Arakchi or by President Trump. But Avishak, one of the points that many raise is that the spoiler for this peace ceasefire is going to be Israel, because Israel's objectives have not been met. And that's why Israel will try and do something to rile up either side so that it can continue to pursue its military objective. Yes.
Look, I will tell you something, okay? The fight against Iran, the actual operation against Iran is not a one-time operation, okay? It's a long-term one, and what we are seeing now is only one step on this entire journey, okay? The goal is basically to prevent Iran from reaching to a point of no return of holding a nuclear weapon. Okay, we know they have enriched uranium up to 60%. Obviously, we know the reason why. They are the only country in the world calling for the destruction, annihilation of another country. We know their goals. This is not something that we all should be very naive about. Okay, like Wail, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. We have to
I'm
be
not
very.
naive, by the way. They're just
Okay,
judge
so
yourself. I'm
yeah,
sorry
this
to
is
say that.
this is just a step in the long journey that we have in front of Iran. Now we have a temporary ceasefire, which I'm not sure that it will, hold any water. It will not last. Either will come from the Iranian side, okay? I don't know about the Israeli one, but I'm sure that Prime Minister Netanyahu and the government are really appreciative of the joint effort
But there's
of
actually
America and
actually today, Avishag, a lot of criticism of Bibi
Can I-
Netanyahu because
Yeah, can I
the
just
opposition
finish?
is going after him, saying, "What objectives have you met? You don't even know
Okay,
what the deal
there are
is."
many.
Yeah,
No.
quickly.
I'm sorry. I must say there are many objectives that have been achieved. Okay, first and foremost is a huge damage to their ballistic missiles capability, manufacturing, and launching pads. Okay. Second is basically the a very huge.
Is what President Trump said true, that the enriched uranium is buried deep as nuclear dust, and they're going to work together to collect it?
I'm not exposed to that intelligence, but I'm guessing that this is true.
Are you in
after,
favor of this
after
destroying the
attack,
civilization?
after
Are you
the
in favor
attack
of
of.
destroying
I'm
Iran
sorry.
civilization?
Can I finish?
Yeah,
Can I finish? Please?
President Trump. Then is the IRGC in favor of destroying all the installations and bridges and of all the Arab nations all around? Was the IRGC in favor of dropping drones first up and forcing Bahrain to shut down its LNG and LPG, forcing Qatar to shut shop? Qatar and Bahrain were not firing.
Anand,
So,
US
so,
did not take the
sir,
permission
who
of
went,
the American-
who turned
Anand,
the
don't-
Strait of
don't
Hormuz and
direct-
weaponized it, sir?
Sorry,
What,
do not
was it
direct the
US and
narrative
Israel or was
into
it?
a different story?
All right,
You
no,
have to be
I'm
neutral.
just saying, sir.
No,
You know,
let me
we
put
can
it as
always
my
keep
argument.
asking these. We
No.
can always keep asking these counter questions and these questions about what about. It's about what I'm asking you is
Look,
this truce
I'm
looks
asked-
this truce looks so temporary that now, Strait of Hormuz, 12 hours later, bringing it back into the studio, two gentlemen here are saying, when are we getting some talk time? So I'm just bringing it back. One, Trump says, you help Iran, 50% tariff. So Trump is weaponizing tariff. On this side, the Iranians are weaponizing trade with Hormuz and blocking Hormuz. Where's the solution to this, gentlemen? General Pandey and then Ambassador Rajiv Togar.
You know, Anand, please understand that what has happened is the strategic orientation of Iran, right? When I say Iran, Iran has got two facets. One is the regime and the second is the civilization, right? So we will not mix the two.
Okay.
The regime, when it came into power, has had that strategic orientation of death to Israel. There should be no Israel and death to America. The world has gone beyond in last 5 decades, has moved far, far. You know, it is not the 20th century world. Today is a 21st century world. People are talking, they don't want to build missiles. You know, they want to be having peace. Unfortunately, this orientation never changed. It continued because if it changes to anything else, then the legitimacy of the regime was at stake. So therefore, that process of achieving the nuclear weapon capability, which has been accepted, you know, during the Omani talk, they have said that we will water down what we have, we will hand over to a neutral country. So therefore, to say that 40 kgs or 60% uranium enriched is not there, and it is only for a peaceful or medicinal or research and development project, is something being actually then being not truthful to yourself.
Yeah, very economical with the truth. 60% enriched uranium and you're not going to take it up to 90%. Unbelievable, sir.
And Iran is a sovereign country. It follows an ideology. It needs to continue with this ideology even if the world has gone beyond. And that is unfortunate part. So why did you have 3 proxies? You got Houthis, you got Hezbollah, you got Hamas, with the purpose of something else.
You got those in Iraq also. There's
Yeah,
one more.
in Iraq.
Yeah.
And there are a number of them. So, you know, eventually they lost the space in Syria, not to good people, much worse.
Yeah.
Right? They have lost space somewhere in Iraq, which is a contested space. So, let's put the IRGC and the regime is not holier than thou. They're saying they have been pursuing an agenda, and if, when you look at the future, the choice is to preempt or to wait and thereafter be blamed. So each president, which is today blaming Trump for having gone in for Israel, they have all made this statement in the time that when I come to power, I am going to ensure that Iran is denuclearized. We are coming to get after you. It was Democrat or Republic. The inflection point was this, that they were within a month in June, while possibly the Americans lied, that, we talked about it, that the entire the infrastructure has been damaged or destroyed. But that point of time also we discussed, it is delayed by about a year worth. And that time was coming. So the choice was that each Gulf country is going to wait. And this guy gets weapon of nuclear, which is a power.
They just become so strong that you can't stop them at all.
Anything. So
if a nation has 8,000 ballistic missiles and 10 or 12 nuclear weapons, you can't do anything about a region.
We're not looking at the concerns of the Arab nations. Actually, the monarchs, the Gulf countries are there with America for going after, for defanging Iran.
But
so
this is not going to
about
leave them any peaceful, because they've now realized how much more dangerous they can be. Oh, we've just got news coming through. I'm just getting Ambassador Rajiv Dugra, and I'll come back across to you, Avishag and Mandana Karimi. The Wall Street Journal is now saying that Israel is not very happy. Israel came to know about the deal very late. Israel wasn't very happy with the deal. That's what WSJ is saying. We're putting it out on our screens. Israel came to know about the deal at a late stage. And that's why they have done some telling strikes in Lebanon on the Hezbollah today. And they've come out and claimed, okay, we're not doing anything in Iran, but we're going to go after your proxies.
Another example of narrative.
Yeah.
Israel knew all along what was going to happen. When the ceasefire announcement was going to be made, even before Pakistan got that message that you can put out that
because Netanyahu had hinted at it yesterday, even before Shehbaz Sharif spoke about
but
it.
Let me go back 40 days to Geneva, when Iran had agreed to much more than they had conceded to Obama. With Kushner and Witkoff, they had agreed to whatever they had put on table. And Omani's foreign minister went on television in USA to say that there is no reason now for things to escalate, because Iran has said yes to everything that Witkoff and Kushner had said. Which brings me back to the latest information that you've given, that Vance is not going to Islamabad. It's quite possible it may be because of security reasons also. After all, it has happened before also.
Right.
But at that time, Clinton went there, if you recall.
Correct.
So Vance not going there is an internal issue, because both Vance and Marco Rubio are not coming on the forefront on this. They do not want to be identified with whatever has been happening over the last 40 days. So I think the plan once again is reeling back to Geneva. They want the negotiations to happen as a narrative, but they want to sabotage it. And that is why Sharif's statement also, which excludes Iran. You know, you cannot put a country in the corner and say that, you know, we are negotiating with you in any case. So I do not have very positive feelings.
Somewhere also we've, I'll just see if we have the time to pull out the John Spencer image of the IRGC leadership that's been wiped out so far. We'll try and pull it out and say that that regime has been wiped out to an extent which nobody thought was possible, even with the Mosaic Doctrine. You were saying something, and then quickly we'll get into these.
Vance not coming is a major indicator that this ceasefire is not going to hold, because when you put the next presidential candidate at a place for making the negotiation or taking the deal, that deal has to be 200% locked and loaded. Vance will only come when everything, and he's not going to jeopardize his future on possibilities and going with Witkoff or, you know, son-in-law. Please understand, these are all sitting on the stages. You have to read, they will throw that Vance is going and we are going for this. I have a very, very strong reason what Sir is, Ambassador Dogra is saying, that these 14 days are going to be to tell the world that we were for ceasefire. Iran is not behaving.
Iran is not.
Sir,
Or the regime.
can I add something to that?
Yeah.
Can I add something to
Yes.
that? Journalist Wadil, when you were talking about the innocent people and the lives and the schools and the children's, how about someone like you actually fight for or have a voice about an immediate stop into executions? Put the immediate put stop into executions. Put that in a ceasefire. How about people around the world who, such as yourself, who are you talking about Iran, right? How about you actually fight for stopping the execution? Because as we speak, sir, today I've got a news of 3 people have been executed.
Right, fair point. Well,
Well,
Could you
but
answer that?
let me give you a small
I must
question,
also
because I needed
underline.
to
I must
raise this
also
question
underline
also.
that while Awadji has been somebody who's been very strongly vocal about fighting against these executions, and he is just putting out the perspectives from multiple points. Sometimes we just get carried away in the emotion and believe that he's justifying one for the other. That's not the case. I just want to qualify that. Yes, Wail Sahab, you wanted to say something.
Thank you. I mean, emotion does not build up a nation, and I believe, and I am very advocate of peace. I served with the war zone, and I spent with the American enough time in Iraq. I was embedded journalist. I was captured, and I understand the deception they carried out in Iraq. And I know the war does not give anybody peace. Nobody is right. It is everybody who is left. What is
I agree on that with you.
I condemn any killing of any civilian anywhere in the world. I don't care. But my question here, let me put the question to all of you. If Hezbollah, which was created after Israeli invasion of Lebanon, is now Israel saying is a proxy of Iran, that it has to be demolished. They wanted to take Litani River, take the water, is fine. I agree on that. Let it be the legitimate, whatever pretext they're doing. My question here is, if you have already Golani of Syria, you have given him the treatment, the makeshift hospital in Golan, and they were and toppled the Syrian regime of Assad, and then they took over. And then you said these are the terrorists, and you go and occupy 650 square kilometers of my territories. Ask me why. If it is not the ambition and the lust of occupation and expansion, then I'm a naive. If I don't believe that Israel intention in the region from Euphrates tonight. Even Smotrich saying, Ben Gavir saying, Netanyahu is saying, why can't we believe that where I will go with my family then?
Right. You made a strong point there.
Sir, the reason I spoke about execution is because you said whoever spoke in Iran, they like the regime. Okay. And that's not the reality.
No.
I
never said that.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that.
Thank you, Anand.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that.
I wanted to just clarify.
He didn't say that. Quickly talking about